Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with Reagan Sidney, the home cook from New Orleans who finished in fourth place on MasterChef season 13, representing the South in the United Taste of America. Reagan, you were just one spot away from that finale. How tough was it to hear Gordon tell you that you had been eliminated that day?
Honestly, it really wasn't that bad. Like as much as I really wanted to make the finals, I think my time had been done. I had did what I needed to do. Um, I wasn't really sure how I would fare in the finals, and so I thought the other three cooks were more deserving in that moment than I. And I'm a little gracious in that moment. Obviously, if I would have made it, it would have been great. But I think that they made the right choice.
And you made the top five. I mean, you said that was one of
I
your
did.
goals, and you
My
have
goal was to make top five. Well, my goal was to make top 10. Hell, my goal was to make the show. And then I'm like, and every week it just kept going and kept going and kept going. I'm like, Lord, all right, Jesus. So it has been a absolute great experience.
It came down to you and Jennifer, the two ladies of the South. What were
Mhm.
your thoughts when it was just the two of you left standing there?
Um, Lord, whatever you do, just do it, and we will. Both of us will be fine, no matter what. Both of us are gonna be fine. And I was excited for her. I was really excited. I was, at first I was like, oh man, darn, okay, and then that was it. Like it literally went just like that, and quick wave of motion, and I'm super super excited for my friend to make the finals. I think I'm very pleased with their decision. Mm-hmm.
What was it like to represent the South, specifically New Orleans? Because this season had a different twist. It was the United Tastes of America. You were separated
Right.
into regions. What were your thoughts when you learned about that twist? And then what was it like representing the South?
Well, I was really happy about that because, again, like you said, I am representing the South. I love uh, everything about Southern cooking. I love the flavors. I love putting things together. I love seafood and all of those things except fish. But I really have enjoyed learning how to cook in a way that infuses Southern flavors and bringing a little bit of my North still clean foods that to the table. So I think it was a great twist. It worked out very well for me. I think I was able to be amongst some of the greatest cooks in the country. Obviously, we got what, five of us standing, six of us standing, and then four, and I think you can't beat that.
Yeah. And Wednesday's episode was a double episode. So in the
It
first
is.
half, it's the Hell's Kitchen Takeover, which you won along with Kennedy and Wayne. It looked
Yes.
extremely stressful and intimidating. Can you talk about what that day was like for you and cooking
That
for this entire restaurant full of people?
Hell's cooking in Hell's Kitchen was very difficult. It was, but it was also a serious dream come true. It also taught me that I don't want to work in a restaurant every day. And so I think it was the greatest experience because I got to work with some pretty strong cooks. Wayne was still being Wayne because Wayne gonna be Wayne. But I got to work with Kennedy, who was literally the calm in the storm. And so it worked out perfectly. And we made a great team and we won.
And speaking of storms, you got to experience a little bit of Gordon's stormy personality
Did.
in this
I
challenge where
did.
he
I
screams
did.
at you for using risotto that was left over from like the previous plate. It wasn't like it was day old risotto. So what was
I
that?
literally, I had literally just made it. I literally just made it. And I made enough because he had called out those other tables. So I knew that I needed this. He had just called those tables out. And he was like, where'd you get that from? I was like, I just made it. He was like, don't disrespect me. So, I mean, I get it. I totally get it. This is great TV. It makes for great TV, and I can take it.
Was he the most intimidating judge, or who was the most intimidating for you?
Definitely him. I think it's well, yeah, definitely. Uh, Gordon was definitely the most. intimidating for me because it's his show. It's his, and always wanted to impress him. And, what you all don't hear is the feedback that they give us after the show and after the taping ends, right? And so they literally go to each of us and tell us what they thought of our meals. And I never got any bad feedback except one time they said my potato salad wasn't done, which I was like, what? I don't believe you. But I never got any bad feedback. So my food always was good to him. And to me, that's the biggest, most amazing compliment anyone can ever receive, is from a Gordon Ramsay to tell you that your food tastes good.
Yeah, and the next challenge right after that was that stuffed pasta. And
yes,
he didn't really name a winner, but it seemed like you won. You were at least top three, no matter whatever the
definitely
results were. So that had to feel exciting to just sort of go into that next round on a high.
It definitely was. I was super excited to be there and to do something I had never done before. I never made pasta before. I didn't cook with meat that day, which is something very different for me as well. And so it was, and it was, not something that I'm used to. So I think that it worked out perfectly and it was really good. And, one thing I can do is make a sauce, and I did good on the sauce. So
where you had trouble with the sauce was then the challenge that sent you home, which was keeping up with Gordon. He's leading you through this dish. It's coffee-crusted smoked venison with truffle gnocchi, cauliflower puree, and red wine chocolate sauce. So you have to keep up with him through every step of the way, and then you have like 30 seconds to plate it exactly as he has. How stressful was that, and what was the mistake that sent you home?
So the mistake that sent me home were twofold. One, I overcooked the venison, and two, the sauce broke. And the one thing that I have learned, and since I've been home, I've been working on sauces like like crazy, and especially reduction sauces, because those are very different than like a marinara sauce or a pasta sauce or something like that. Those reduction sauces, you really have to take your time with them, and there was no taking their time. Like I just had not learned how to do that just yet, but it worked out. It was what it was, and I got to go home to Mardi Gras. So who can be mad at that?
What was your highlight of the season? Like, what was your favorite part of the season? And when you watch back the shows, like you remember, like, oh yeah, that was a great day.
That's a great question. I'd have to say Hell's Kitchen Day. It just, between that and winning my auditions, I don't think that there was any other high. Of course, I don't think top was good. I made top once, which was really nice. So I've just given you three. I know you asked for one,
No,
but all great. Three of those, I mean, those were like the highest of the highs in each moment of the competition. And even leaving, I think if we hear what they told me when I was leaving, it just literally changed. It was so beautiful, and I am so grateful that they got to see me for who I am, and then see me through my cooking, and then see me with my teammates and the rest of the cast. And I think that was super important, that I spread love and show love to everyone. And I think I did that. And so I'm really, really pleased about that, and super grateful for the opportunity to show love to people and kindness that don't always get that.
Well, let's go back to your audition. You impressed all four judges with jerk shrimp and roasted corn and peppers. You got four yeses. Tiffany Derry was the guest judge that week. Talk about that first moment, walking into the MasterChef kitchen, what it was like cooking for them, and why you chose that dish.
So walking into the MasterChef kitchen was like a dream. Are you kidding me? This is so amazing. And I'm like, oh, it's big in here. I wasn't expecting all of that, but there it was. It was pretty cool. And then cooking for them was, again, such a dream and such an honor. And then I was like really in my element. My mama was there, my brother, my best friend. So they were able to like really, like, hey, focus. Like they know me. They know they've been eating my food forever. My best friend was one of the reasons why I'm on the show. And then for her, the dish that I chose has a strong roots in not just Louisiana, but the Caribbean, which gets our flavors from. The usage of the corn is very Indian-like here in Louisiana, specifically in the northern Louisiana, using those flavors with the peppers and the jalapenos, and making sure that it has lots of spice and flavor, and then of course the shrimp. The shrimp comes straight from the Gulf, and so I wanted to make sure I brought that into. And then I use jerk shrimp instead of like a saucy shrimp, because I really wanted to show that I can do more than just throw a sauce together. And I think that I'm really pleased with this dish and the way that it came out. Super grateful for the opportunity. It's just been amazing.
What's your personal story? Like, when did this love for cooking develop for you? And then what ultimately led you to audition?
So my story goes as this is my third career, I think. And so the pandemic hit, and I've been cooking my whole life. I mean, I ain't no little girl, so I gotta eat. So, but my grandmother was an amazing chef. She cooked for monsignors and popes, and I mean, not popes, but you know what I mean. Like, she just was a big deal, and she cooked for the governor of Louisiana before. She was a really, really big cook, and so I remember always going to her house, and she always having all this food at our house, and we would just tear it up. And then we came when the pandemic hit. I was really like, what do I do? And my pastor said to us, listen, this is the perfect time for you to really do something that you're passionate about. Reagan, I know you like to cook. Go live every week and show people how to cook. And I was like, that's a great idea. I got a radio show. I do the talking. I mix the two. Let's see how this works out. And I would have 500 and 600 people watching the views, like just watching my cook. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And somebody saw the video. They were like, hey, you should try out for this show. And I did. And the show didn't get greenlit. But those people saw that video, and then they said, oh, wow, we want you to try out for MasterChef. So that's how I applied. I didn't even, MasterChef found me. I was chilling.
And so what's your plan moving forward? You said earlier that you found out through this process that you don't want to work in a kitchen every day.
No.
So what do you want to do? And tell fans watching how they follow you and how they can sort of follow your food journey.
Awesome. So my food goal now is to have my own show. I absolutely love to talk. As you know, I said I had a radio show for 3 years. I was on radio. I really enjoy being on TV. I love having these conversations with people, and I love to cook, and I love to conversate. I love to make things beautiful and pretty. And so I want to share that with the world. I said I would be the next century's B. Smith, and she was an amazing woman, and I would love to pattern my life after hers, except she had a restaurant, and we're going to pray about that. I just, one thing about a restaurant is you have to love on it and be there all the time. And I feel like my world, I want to be everywhere at one time. And so that's one of the reasons why. And then, so I want all of my followers and fans to know that I appreciate them. I get all of y'all comments, and I promise you I'm trying to respond. I promise you I am. And I appreciate each and every one of you. So you can follow me at Reagan the Sidney, or Curated by Reagan on pretty much all my platforms. So Reagan Sidney, or Reagan the Sidney, or Curated by Reagan.
Well, we can't wait to see what the future holds, and hopefully you get that show. You definitely have the personality and skills, so we'll be looking forward to that. Reagan, it was a pleasure to speak with you. Congratulations on making the top 5, and thanks for chatting with Gold Derby today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Denton. You have a wonderful day, and you guys be safe. Take care of one another and be kind.